I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA's Daily Review. Today is November 8th, Wednesday, 2023. So we had an indecisive day, closed bearish, and we're inching our way. We did take out the previous day's high, and then we came down and came to that gap that was below. Why is this doing that? You can see that, right? Yeah. So you see here, yeah, bouncing up. So we retraced a little bit, got back into that a little bit in the balance. And then if you watch yesterday's video, so it'll make sense, I mentioned that we would get close to bouncing from this imbalance right here on the 15-minute. I explained that on the last video. And then we came shy of it. Look how shy not too many points, couple points, couple handles. But then it bounces up and comes up. Then New York takes the high out, right? And then sinks down, takes the liquidity that it built from Asian London, and then pretty much seals the imbalance and gets to that gap that's already on my chart. So like, do you have this gap on your chart, right? And what's funny is you'll just see price bouncing from place to place, right? Let's go into a smaller time frame real quick. So this 5-minute, you see it opens, respecting that daily open right here. It has a lot to do with today in general, but you see how we peak down and we're right here, and we're literally a point away from that level I mentioned. And then, beginning of pre-London starts to shoot up and create higher highs and higher lows. The higher lows is too perfect. You can see that, when we're waking up at 9:30 around here, ready to be trading at 9:30, you can see, I'm gonna delete, I'm gonna delete it for a second. You already see this higher high and higher low, but that's suspect. If you've been trading for a while, you want to trust your analysis, because like, you're back here, you're up here, and you're like, man, that shit looks too clean. Trust yourself. Look how the price came all the way up, shot above the previous day high, right? See that? And then no bodies, peters out, rushes for all that liquidity. When you're up here, and the thing is this daily carrot that they got right here for this level, which is that week's high right there, which would be the week of October 9th, Monday, for example. What do you call it? No, not Monday. Sorry, it was Thursday, October 12th, that high of that week, starting on the 9th of October. That high, as you see there, right? We still sitting here. Yes, I had intention of buying to wipe that out. I thought that would have been a good target. As that failed, then your other idea would be to take out liquidity on the downside, which this is very obvious, right? So I'm saying all that because I'm going to go in smaller time frames so you can see it, but a little tricky. But price, 9 o'clock, it's heading in here. 9:30 pushes the price right to the open of today's open gap. All right, beautiful, sitting right there. Then it shoots up, boom, right, comes up and takes out that liquidity from yesterday on the high, and then it fails. So when it fails, then obviously it's not going up, and you're not seeing price action going up. So price starts to break down and then attack these lows, all of it down here, and plus even more. Obviously, they went down to this gap. So like even if I wasn't trading, I'd have these levels from the indicator, of course, because they're putting it on there for me. But if I had drawn it out myself and I just left, it's funny how you see the price action bounce from gap to gap and from these places, right? So this is overzealous, I guess. At the same time, but it does come into this big down counter right here with sealing the price, remember, on the 4 hour. So you have that going on as well. And then stops. Look at the body sitting there. Look at the body sitting on that gap high. That's not random. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all fucking rigged, right? So the point is anyways, breaking down, and then after that you got lunchtime, boom, shoots reversal, right? Shoots all the way back up, right back to that gap that where we were here, over here, this gap, right, that I got. So you see it playing there, retraces, pops up again, and then pretty much wipes out the seller. So we were buying here with the intention of trapping buyers, and then they came down to wipe out the sellers. After wiping out the sellers, what's the next job to do? In general, it would be to wipe out the sellers. Did I say buyers? Yeah. Come down to wipe out the buyers, and then going back up to wipe out the sellers. Not a coincidence that this day pans out like that. And it was a speaker. If you see here, you see this high and this low, makes another high, then comes up, making another high. So if you drew a trend line, it would be that would be 2 extra highs from the point of origin, and then shoots down. You had that low, right? Coupled with that low, they didn't take out that low, but as you see here, drawing it out, you could see an imaginary speaker, right? So it's just manipulation. It's just shaking out, I call it, right? You hear me talk about it all the time, right? So it's not like I'm waiting for that setup, but when I see it, before the price even got down here, I understood that there was liquidity right here. But then I also know that if it's coming down, I understand that it can also create a speaker where this is the low and then this is another lower low, right? So they just pretty much took the top side, then took the downside, and then came back up for the top side, right? But with that going on, I understand that this is a possibility. What do I have sitting here? I have a gap sitting here. It's a coincidence? Can't be. You know what I'm saying? So pretty cool, man. But let me go into 1 minute real quick. I have to be done early, and I'm probably gonna stop videos maybe in December, but and some of this month. But I'll probably still do the videos, but my trading is gonna be much less. I got a lot of different stuff I'm gonna be doing, even business wise. So let's see here. So right here, this is a 1 minute. You can see opening up, and then okay, price shooting down, tags it, shoots up. Okay, cool. That's the first move. Okay. When we get up here, I understand it's a higher high. We've already took out the high of the day. I would generally look for a sell on this too. Let me kind of zoom in here. There's a lot to talk about here too, but I can't go into too much detail, but you can see this, right? So, and this is just a 1 minute, so I'm on sub-second for this, but in general, I know I'm up here. This price starts shooting down. And the general trade for this sell right here is just, this is a higher high and I'm selling it to make a higher low. Very common price action. This is nothing, scientific or rocket science. Taking it to this down candle, and I'm good for this trade. It's a scalp, in my opinion, in general. Well, maybe a little bigger than a scalp, but in general, it's a scalp for me. But I'm just chasing a leg. I'm just taking a direction and I'm done. All right, then I let this play around. This thing comes down, all right, because I know this manipulation will probably take this out. I don't expect this to be the higher low, but the higher low went from higher high to higher low right here. You ended up getting 2 drives down, or a retracement or 2 in that leg down, right? But I don't need to be exactly right here. You understand? I'm only trying to get a piece of this movement. So I'm good. Take the profit. Boom. Now I see this price comes down, takes that low out. If you're patient and you're waiting for this to do something else, you're going to have much more success in trading. Trust me. So, you're not trying to move everything, take every single candle or anything, but you get the gist. So the price comes down, creates a swing low as well. And it gets into this wick right here, this big down wick. And then on smaller time frames, you can see something else if you go. But this is a great place to buy. Why am I taking this buy? Because I want to make a new higher high. Okay, so, and I have maybe possibilities of us shooting up, right? Long story short, take the buy here. Perfect. We get to the high right here. Now, this is where you normally want to take profit. Me, I decided to get a little greedy and hold it. All right, which I shouldn't. This is why I make my rules of saying when you get to a liquidity level, take the fucking profit, or even before the liquidity level, right? Just in case it fails. Because and trying to hit a home run, and which is what I decided to do. And look, it came right against me. Now that's okay. That shit happens. But what you should be doing is that when it fails, this trade right here, I don't have to wait for it to take me out. But I do understand that once it comes down here, back to this low, and retraces back, now it's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock on the head. This 1 minute candle, look at that 1 minute candle. That it's a 10 o'clock algorithm that is macro that's running inside of that imbalance. I got it highlighted right here. I'll drag it out so you can see it more. You have that imbalance right there, okay? Little under the 50% of it, right? And then you have, and this is too deep. I have to go in a smaller time frame for you to see this. And you can see it stops on a head on this box right here. See how it stops on a head right there? See that? So I have the imbalance and I have this candle up here. So this would be considered like a resistance block right here for me, where we came up, we broke through it, and when we retrace back into it. Look at that. So I have this candle as well, and then I have this inversion imbalance on a 15-second, which I will show you, but just for a second. Oh shit. You see here this imbalance right there. So on a smaller time frame, you could see maybe more clarity for what I was doing. But when this price comes down, it actually gets in this swing low that we said it was on a 1 minute. It really just tapped into that one down candle, and almost 50% of it. And then that's the perfect trade I'm looking for. So and then I got down when we sold this. You see this when we sell this. Got the leg down, and then I'm just taking it in here because I know I'm inside this. It could reverse. It could go all the way, right? So I'm taking the profit here. Anyways, price comes down, comes more deeper into this candle and this inversion imbalance, which I'm not going to draw out, but if you draw it out, you would see that it's inside there. But what I used is this inversion imbalance right there, this imbalance right there. So the price comes above it, comes in below it. Comes above it. I'm taking this trade to come up anyway, but the strength of the trend of order flow that I'm looking for is for it to bounce above this inversion imbalance, and I drag it out. So it's not even dragged out all the way yet, right? So we're just here with it. So I'm seeing what's happening. Look how we come above it, we bounce above it, and then we shoot up. We finally take out that liquidity. Cool, that's a trade, but I decided to hold it. Came against me. Fine. All right. So when it's coming down, if I'm wrong and it's coming down, I expect this inversion imbalance to act as resistance. Watch when I drag it out. You'll see that it's the exact same level as that. Look, I mean, it's not a variation. It's look, I can zoom as much as you want. Look how much I'm zooming out for you. And it's still the same exact level. Okay, 395. All right. So I'm saying all that to say this: when you're wrong, don't keep trying to buy here, right? This thing came back. If this thing was going to keep going for a higher high and then make a higher low and we get up here, it would have never retraced this far. You get what I'm saying? So if that's the case, it comes down and it comes back up, back into this. If I go back to a 1 minute, I want to be done. Look at that. Gets into that imbalance right there. And then with this through imbalance right there. All right, inversion imbalance right there. And you have that block as resistance. So broke, came through, internal break before it really breaks. Then guess what? So I'm taking this low. Where am I taking this low? Well, we just talked about all this liquidity that we obviously can see. I mean, it's like, and they added the 930 low right there to the group of money, right? But my intention is to take this to where? Well, if in general, I wanted to take it here, right? But I ain't got the patience or the time, and I'm not going to. I don't need to. But my general gist is 50% of all these lows. So if I was to literally draw a fib, okay, from here, well, shit, a 50 fib from there to there. Just the level. This is just the level of all these. My goal is to get somewhere at 50% of all these lower high. I'm sorry, all these higher lows, liquidity. I want it to come down at least at this level and take out, and what's right here is that low right there. Look how it comes right to it. Boom. All right, done. You don't need, even when it bounced up, I'm done, right? But the point is that this is just a basic price action logic of taking liquidity, if that makes any sense, right? So there's that coming right down to it. What did it do? It retraced back up, made a swing high, made a swing low right there. Could have bought that. I was done. But swing came back up. Look, as it came back up, right? That's why I take profit. Look, what if it went up all the way, right? I don't know, right? And then comes up, and then look where it stops. Stops right there at that up block right there to the, pretty nice. At 50% damn near of this wick right here. You're knocking at a super support now resistance, right? These were highs, and then made support, and then we broke underneath it, retraced right back. This is now turned resistance, classic resistance, right? And sells right off, makes another low, all these lows, and then wipes out all the rest of that liquidity, and then comes to that gap that's not on this chart right now. Go back to a 5-minute. I gotta be done, bro. I just want to explain, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't want to take this long. But gets to the gap, boom, bounces from there, comes all the way back to this gap, man. I mean, come on. And look how it comes right back to where this is so the first entry that I took that I was just mentioning up here, that was an early entry, but it's a confidence entry and it's understanding price action, right? But you should have waited for this break to retrace, then you would have sold from that up candle that I told you. On a smaller time frame, right? On the 1 minute, for example. But then came to the gap. Look at the bodies respecting that beautifully. Then bounced all the way back up to this gap and fucking petered around, right? So notice how notice how this high comes up and then gets right to that perfect level that I mentioned. Now it's a point or two below, okay? Whatever. But look how close they squeezed out whoever got in this entry, because you have to be really good to get into that entry. Otherwise, they definitely wiped out this confirmation. So you had a shift of structure here. You get a confirmation sell right here. Everybody and their mother sold from here, guaranteed. So this is why they first come up right there. See that? They do that shit on purpose, bro. They know exactly what round of applause for them. Because I mean, come on. Then this price comes up to the entry where you got to be really good to catch. All right. I mean, you could have caught it up here if you were really locked in, but I mean, we had objectives of coming up here. So it's like it failed. It's okay. And even when I made that video yesterday, I show an example of us coming down to this gap and then going up. So we didn't get that, right? When it retraced, it just started going up. I was like, okay, cool. We're not retracing anymore. We're just going to come up first to then come down. So we came up first to wipe out just the clean highs there. Then we sank down to the gap, and then we came back up, and now we're here, right? So does it? Okay, well, we're gonna ask me, what am I gonna expect tomorrow? I don't know. We still have news this week of what do you call it? What's tomorrow? Thursday, right? Yeah. We have Fed speaks again at 2:00. We have unemployment at 8:30, and Friday consumer sentiment. So does that news push it up or push it down? I would like to say that it's gonna push us one more time up. So look at the overbought area again. You don't marry this or anything, but it's you see it kind of turning, right? But and Dow is a little bit more obvious, but so two options. This thing's either gonna sink from here. Fuck dollar, to be honest with you. If it's going to either make a new lower low, because we just made a lower high, and we do this, right? So either we're going to do this, all right, or we're going straight up first. All right? You only got two options here, man. I mean, that's really what I could see here. But who knows? And that's why I put a question mark here, because I mean, again, if I was them, I would do it. I mean, I'd just come and, I mean, you're fucking right there, dude. Just take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, that's the part of the game that we deal with. But, all right, so enough of that. And then as far as Dow goes, real quick. Very little similar, but same time they had a speaker as well. See that? Look at that. See that? High, then low. So they swept above first, then they swept below. Right? They didn't take out the low, yesterday's low, but I mean damn near. Okay. And then, popped all the way back up here. And now we're sitting right here. So this to me looks like a crack more as well. Well, no, let me rephrase that. That can be a crack, but it could not be. But it is there. That pattern is there, especially with when we got what we got with fucking Nas. We made a higher high, higher low. See this? Higher high. Then we opened up and then came down for a higher low. It doesn't break that low. Higher low. Higher high. All right. And then your higher low, it pushed all the way through it. Right? So yes, you could have just bought here and been wrong again. Right? If you thought this was a higher low. But breaks all the way through. So this is a lot more obvious for me as a crack of structure, right? Like for me in a way, but at the same time, it's not, because on a higher time frame, it's just really a little pullback, so it's not that, so, I'm still neutral, right? With up or down right now. So that being said, look at back to here. You can see that, and look, I told you, remember, this finally got tapped. That little monthly imbalance right there, we finally tapped above, and we took out the month high of October. That high right there, and then I put the imbalance in between with the space that's not sealed yet. Look how we tap into it. As you can see here, we open up, we come down, we bounce off of the open of the week, all right, and then shoot straight up. Get in. You see how we tap the open gap of today's gap right there. Retrace, higher highs, higher lows, same thing. Get to the gap right here. This gap that's in the background takes out the highs. Okay, bodies. Look at that. Retraces back, bounces again, comes right up to that blue area I got sitting there. So, or the remaining imbalance on the monthly, right? Taps in. What does it do? Sells off. Lower low, lower highs all the way. Takes out their liquidity. Damn near takes out the previous day's low. And then bought up. Bought up right here. Look where this is a 5 minute, right? Yeah. I didn't do the analysis here. What's funny is that this was already there. These gaps and these openings that they just pop on my chart are already there. Look, I'm not even trading Dow, and you can see it fucking moving around on these levels, right? This is not random, right? So if I had to give you an explanation of it coming down here, pretty much just squeezing everybody out, and then staying in these last down candles on a higher time frame, it's probably a little more legible. You can see here. This price comes down, comes to a little bit below 50% of this candle right here. This candle's in control, and then stays inside this down candle right here. So it doesn't break that low. So that's a higher low, technically. So if I look at this at a distance, you're going to see this is a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, or this leg is the higher low to higher high. This whole leg, and it retraces, and it could still go up. But if we consider this as a crack right here, I don't really trust it. But at the same time, when it buys, it comes right back up to that up candle right there, right? What is this, 15 minute? Yeah. So, is these the lower highs and we're going to make new lower lows? Or are these higher lows and it's coming up to take it? I know that sounds like, oh, you got both sides. Well, I mean, bro, it could be either one. So look at the over spot here. You see that we got a bearish, just like over here when we had this bearish right here. Look how it still came up 2 more times. Look how it came up 2 more drives, right? And but it wasn't really in the overbought, to be honest. But it still sank from underneath the overbought right here, right? So let's just say we're in the same area. Look at this. This is lower highs here, right? And we're making higher highs. That's what you want to see, because it could be one more time that it goes up, and then this becomes another lower high in here, and then it sinks down. We come down to get down into here, right? So We don't know. We'll see. But I don't know, man. Dow did tap into that. Do they need to seal it? I would think they do. So I mean, you're already here, man. But your guess is as good as mine. So yeah. Other than that, oh yeah, dollar. So as you see here, dollar. Weird action. Not congruent. The dollar is retracing, and we're still going up as well, right? So not moving in tandem, but they did come to this weekly imbalance, which is this one right here, light color, comes to about 50% of it and then rejects, right? So we'll see what happens. I mean, this dollar keep now look how it came back up, and I mentioned this in some previous videos. There's no reason to really go back up unless this gap is a big deal. So this gap right here, us coming up to this gap, I don't even know why it's not drawn, but I'll draw it. Right here. I don't know what that other gap is for, but this gap right here, a body should be up here unless we never visit it for a very long time. But I'm expecting dollar to kind of slowly go up, I guess. I mean, that's not a good looking candle though. But at the same time, it can still push it up. And if it pushes it up, that might if it and it, we end up going more bullish with dollar, then maybe we can see us turn around, right? So, but I like us wiping that top liquidity first. If it doesn't wipe it, then it's selling from now. All right, you guys have a good day. Take care. God bless.